Welcome back, rockers, to Mahayla's Music Moment, only here on Rock 92.7. This month, I wanted to bring on one of my personal favorite independent bands. So, some of you guys may have never heard of this band before, but I hope that this interview will introduce you to some new music. So, without further ado, here's my conversation with the South Carolina-based rock band 7 Year Witch. So, why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves?
I am Seth Burden, and I am the drummer.
I'm Bo Anderson. I play guitar and do backup vocals.
I'm Spencer Burden, and I play the bass guitar.
I'm Aaron Langford, and I am the lead singer.
Before we get started, I wanted to show you guys something that you guys actually sent me. I don't know if you could see it.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Yeah, made it.
And so also for those who are listening, can't see what it is, they actually sent me some really cool stickers and a cute little note because you guys were giving it out on your social media pages.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys still doing that?
Oh, if they comment on Weaponized, we send them. Oh yeah, that's still totally a thing. If anybody wants to comment on there and then send leave us a message saying they left a comment on our newest music video on YouTube, they can send us an address and we will throw them a sticker.
It's also optional, but you can send us $100.
Yes. Either or, though. You got to do at least one. Yes. And how many have you sent so far?
I think I bought a roll of 100 stamps. There's probably about 100 or more in the United States, and then about 12 international, I think.
Wow, that's really good. And then hopefully after this, you guys will send out a ton more. So one more time, how can they get their sticker?
So you go to YouTube and then you look up 7 Year Witch, and our newest music video is called Weaponize Your Love. You just leave a comment, any type of comment. It could be a hate comment, but you just leave a comment. And then you just find any of our social media and you just write the band, say, hey, I commented on Weaponize Your Love. Send me a sticker. You shoot us an address and boom, it's on the way.
Yes, and that is what I did. So I got a sticker and I actually have it in my office. I tore it off the wall today. Show you guys online.
Official.
Yes. But anyways, so speaking of Weaponize Your Love, that is your newest single, which I love, by the way. We're actually going to play it after this interview, so stick around till the very end to hear this new single. Also, you mentioned in an interview that you thought Weaponize Your Love was a little bit more quote unquote harder than your previous stuff. Is this kind of the new direction you want to go in, or is it just kind of experimenting, see what your fans like?
It's I think we all agree that it's more of a direction that we're trying to go and trying to write towards. This was also the first song that we also kind of co-wrote with someone. We worked with Johnny Andrews. He's helped write with a lot of other artists. And it's just kind of nice to get a fresh perspective and hear someone else's ideas that isn't in the band as well, and it kind of helps kind of mold the direction that we want to go a little bit. It's just kind of keeps everything fresh, and we've written a lot of stuff over the years, and some of it's sort of all over the place, which is fun because it's sometimes you just get to write what you want to write, you get to write what you feel, and but sometimes as a band it can be a little confusing for some of your audience, because everybody, if you listen to like Korn or anybody, it doesn't matter who, they all have like their own like sound that's them all the time, no matter what they write. And so we decided we wanted to be a little more cohesive with our writing, and this is something that we all sort of enjoy, and we might go a little more this style, a little darker sounding than some of our other stuff.
But I did want to go back a little bit because you mentioned that you co-wrote with somebody. And I just want to point out that somebody was not just like anybody. They also co-wrote songs with Hailstorm, right?
Yep. He's Hail. Well, a ton of other artists.
Yeah, like really... that was just the one that stuck out to me because I actually had Lizzie on the show. So I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, so there's a connection there. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out for the audience, like not just anybody. They weren't just co-writing with anybody, like major deal. But anyways, so I am also curious, will Weaponize Your Love be part of an album, or is it just going to be a standalone single?
That's something we're actually still kind of playing with that idea and that game plan. Yeah, because it seems like the method nowadays for bands is they like to do a lot of singles, and it's less about albums. It seems like for a lot of bands, an album is the thing of the past, but we still enjoy albums. We're just kind of old school like that. So preferably, this would be on an album, and that's something, especially if we can find a record label that wants to work with us and wants, because we have a ton of songs we could put towards the album. We would like to include it in an album, but if not, if we don't find someone maybe can help us do something a little bigger and distribute it in a larger way, we might just kind of keep pumping them out as singles, and then maybe in the future lump them all together in an album.
Yeah, maybe throw a few extra bonus tracks on there that people haven't heard. It's an idea we've been toying with. It's just monetarily, you make, I hate to say it's about money, but to an extent, we have to eat as well. It monetarily makes more sense, and it just keeps a crowd, your audience engaged, dropping singles on a regular basis. It's sadly, that's just the way it kind of works a lot of times. So
yeah, no, that totally makes sense. Everyone's got to eat. But, yeah.
Even if it only is once a month.
Yeah, exactly. So also I'm kind of a little bit of a nerd when it comes to like the process of like writing a song. So when Weaponize Your Love was kind of being formed, if you will, like what happened? Like who came up with what, break it down for us.
Johnny Andrews, who we wrote with, who wrote with Hailstorm, and I think other ones were like Adelita's Way and Motionless in White, I think even. Fozzy, a bunch of bands. He likes fewer cooks in the kitchen, so only me and Aaron went up, but we kept Seth and Spencer in the loop the whole time, and anytime we got a demo back from him of what we had recorded, immediately sent it to them. So yeah, it was just the two of us, and basically the first hour or two we were there was just us listening to music we liked and getting a feel for what one another liked, and what kind of direction we wanted to go with it. And then we started actually picking up guitars and showing ideas that we had, and I had this little guitar thing that was the first verse part, and that's all I had. And he heard me play that, and then Johnny turned to his keyboard and basically just wrote the chorus there already. Yeah, I don't know how he does what he does, but he just mumbles greatness. I don't know how to describe it. But this was also one of the first songs where we started with the title. Yeah, he had a book of like just cool words or sayings or whatever that he'd come up with, and he pulled it out and read the first one. He's like, I have this one as Weaponize Your Love. We're like, yeah, we'll take that one. I like that. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah. That's really interesting. I've never like heard of, because I always ask that question, and I've never really heard of it being done that way. So that's really interesting.
It was just as interesting to us too, because we'd never really written in that way. Usually when we write stuff, we get together and somebody's got like a cool riff idea, or just like just a rough of a melody, and then we go from there. But just writing kind of backwards like that, like almost coming up with a hook first, was just very new. But it was honestly kind of liberating. It's kind of when you try something from a different angle like that and try a new process, it just kind of stirs the pot and gets you going, and it really kind of inspires creativity. And so from there, just kind of lyrics and everything else just sort of spill out. So it was kind of like a jump start to the whole process, which was really cool.
Yeah, once the hook was written, the rest of the song just kind of fell into place. We'd pass the guitar around, and somebody would have an idea. Or you wouldn't even have to pick up the guitar. Sometimes we could just explain what should happen, and it just happened. Yeah, and it was actually surprisingly easy to write a cool song.
Yeah. Don't you just love that? Like when everything just falls into place, like that's when it's meant to be, I don't know.
Exactly.
So kind of taking it back a little bit, I think in a previous interview, I think Bo actually, he said that Cyanide was like a made up like concept that you guys just came up with. Was Weaponize Your Love kind of like a made up kind of thing, or was it more personal to like one or all of you guys?
At least lyrically, when I write, a lot of things are, you can take things that are inspired from your life and, maybe exaggerate them and create these cool stories. And, it's just like story writing basically. But this one in particular, you kind of put yourself into a character, and even if it's not who you are or has anything to do with your life, you put yourself in the body and mind of a character, and you just kind of try to write from that perspective. And you know, if you can really get into it and really feel the feelings that that character's feeling, a lot of those lyrics come out, and then you just gotta do your best to make them sound cool. And that's kind of the the way we went about it on this one. A lot of it was just like, oh, well, you know, most people have been, you know, scorned by an evil ex or something like that. You know, you got to get in that mindset, and you got to think about how, oh, I've wasted all this time trying to be understanding and be cool when I'm just getting nothing in return. You know, so that's the perspective. I guess you could take into personal life. We've all been there, but mostly this was kind of just I guess you could say a made up character that we played.
Do you guys prefer to use writing as kind of like a creative outlet, or do you prefer to, put your personal stories into songs?
I would say it's more along the lines of a conduit than like a creative outlet. It seems like, you'll be sitting there going to sleep at night and you'll have this crazy riff idea, this crazy melody idea or lyric idea, and it'll just kind of happen. And so it's almost like you're an antenna and you just got to kind of be the voice that it comes out of. So it's more along the lines of, you've got this alien parasite trying to bust out of your chest and you got to let it go. And so that's kind of the way it goes. I mean, occasionally things are influenced by your personal experiences. There was a few songs, like there's a slower song I wrote a long time ago called "It Comes in Waves." I kind of wrote a little more personally, but for the most part, it's just like you're a conduit for this whatever force in the universe has this idea of a song, and you just gotta characterize it.
Yeah, right. So, well, I watched this documentary. I watched a ton of documentaries, but I watched a documentary about Dolly Parton, and she's one of the greatest songwriters, like hands down. She said, that the best songs are stories. So, I mean, she didn't say they're personal stories. So, I mean, why not? Like, just make them up, as long as it's a story.
And the good thing about every story is that every good story is everybody can find something to relate to in it. So I think that's kind of part of it too. Everybody finds something that they relate to in every song that they like.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Before we go, because I think we are running out of time, unfortunately, but I just wanted to ask one more question. So, there might be a lot of people who are listening to this interview that have honestly never heard of you guys before. What is one thing that you want someone to know about your band?
That's a good question. Oh man, I wasn't prepared for this.
And we can go around if you guys each have something.
For anyone who's never heard 7 Year Witch before, we have a song called Rags to Riches, and that song is actually, a true thing about us. There's no industry plants in this band. There's no large amount of money funding this band. We're a band that's trying to come from rags to riches. We've started with no connections out here in South Carolina, no money, and we've been working our way up from when we were teenagers, playing every weekend and dive bars that would let us in when we weren't 21. And then we started getting on bigger shows and getting involved with management. But this was a ground up thing. And if you just love bands who put their nose to the grindstone and aren't industry plants, aren't backed by a bunch of money, and just like hard working guys that are in it because they love it, that's the type of band we are in 7 Year Witch.
A good way to put it. Yeah, everything about us is organic, nothing fake. What you see is what you get. If you see us on stage jumping around acting like a fool on stage, that's just kind of how excited we are to be there. That has nothing to do with an act or anything like that. We're just excited to be there and extremely hungry.
And I would say too,
and figuratively.
I guess I'd say I'd like people to know that we're a very personable band, and if you come see us play, it's not going to be some weird thing like, oh, can I talk to the band? We like to just hang out with everybody, and I know we've had people in our team before say, oh, you're not exclusive enough. People, they see, too many people are talking to the band. You need to be more elusive. We just part of it is we just get bored when we're on tour, and we end up just hanging out with anybody. So if you come see 7 Year Witch, please be our friend. Come talk to us, and let's make a new friend. And bring Bo only blue Sour Patch Kids. He loves those.
Yes, I love that. And I've been to a few shows where, I've obviously met the band like afterwards, and those are always the best shows. Like, it doesn't even matter what they do on stage, but just like afterwards, you get to like talk to them, have a conversation. Yeah, like my night's made. Cool. Well, does anybody else have any last minute remarks?
Yeah, just stay tuned. We're always posting new stuff, and we always get some random exciting news every now and then. So just follow us on Facebook, Spotify, Instagram, all that. Go follow us on Spotify, please. That would really help us. And just stay tuned.
Thank you again to 7 Year Witch for being on the show. You can find out more about the band by going to 7yearwitch.com. Now, as promised, here is their newest single, Weaponize Your Love.